Hey, guess what, everybody? Go listen to the Break It Down show.
God, you have a good voice that you could take a nap to on like golf commentators.
You got a napping voice.
I should call it golf game.
That's why I always fall asleep in the truck. It's just your napping voice.
Because I start talking and I say things like, here's where we turn left.
One of the reasons why we were late getting here is we couldn't decide where you lived.
Seriously?
Yeah, and like guys, we wouldn't look it up. And John
said, I think it's right.
And John normally is right. So I'm like, so then we drove all the way back to Walnut Creek.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys should have just asked me.
Well,
no, we should. Yes, we should have. We should have asked Siri. We should have asked any number of people.
We had a lot of resources available to us that we refused to use.
Yeah, it's a total male thing.
Yeah.
Just to introduce the show, we are recording this podcast in lovely Alamo, California. For all of our listeners worldwide, Alamo, California is a tiny little town of 14,000. That's like a decent-sized wedding. But it is one of California's treasures. Mm-hmm. It's a place where houses are spacious, and the space between houses is often generous and wooded and beautiful. So one of the most lovely places in the state to live, and there's a lot of lovely in California. So that's saying something. And our guest today is Kriste Michelini. She's a designer. She makes people's properties and houses and surroundings more beautiful than I imagine they imagine. That's been our experience anyway. We are in your lovely home, which Pete and I both love.
Yes, that's true. We talk about it all the time.
Oh, you do?
We really do.
It's actually it's where the bar is.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see things that we like and we'll go, that's nice. It's not Kriste Michelini nice, but it's nice.
Yeah, we'll see houses talking about design aspects, and you should talk to Kriste Michelini because maybe she designed her own place, you know? Yeah, because you can see when they need it. It's that professional little extra something. And we actually saw a house in your style the other day, too. Where were we when we saw that? San Ramon? Where were we?
I don't know.
But it was in the Kriste Michelini style, though.
Oh.
Yeah. What is the style of the exterior of your house? It's it's not really, I want to say it's colonial, without being Jeffersonian.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just making up words right
I know, I am. I just make up stuff.
I think it's more New England style, like classic, with the siding and the columns with the shutters. But then with the mix of keeping it cleaner with the more modern elements, such as the furnishings, and not having molding everywhere, but maybe on one wall, or you definitely have the traditional, but then you mix it with, let's say, the traditional table with the modern chairs and so forth.
Right. There is definitely a mix of stuff going on. Kriste's son, Mark, is sort of sitting in the corner.
Chuckling.
The thing about your house is that everything is beautifully and tastefully put in its place, but it's not trying too hard. And I think that's where it is that there isn't molding on everything. Mm-hmm. But I just went to the bathroom. I went to this downstairs bathroom. I mean, it's a standard small it's just a room that's got so many lovely things to look at.
Oh, that's
I mean, that little shower in there doesn't have a shower door, and that makes it cool. Mm-hmm. And it's got the fixtures and then it's got the glass panel. I mean, there's so much amazing stuff going on, and you're standing in this spot, and no matter what direction you look in, there's something neat. That sink looks like it was carved by an artisan out of a single piece of stone.
Oh. Yeah, it's concrete. It's cool. The pitch of that.
Yeah. So it's a poured sink. It was made out of concrete.
Like a template. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And then the fixture for the sink, the faucet, is coming out of the mirror.
Yeah, wall mounted. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is. It's cool.
The bathroom at the studio is cool as well, too. It has the world's smallest sink. It's like a one-hand sink.
It is a one-hand sink, and it's sideways.
Yeah.
That little rectangle guy.
Uh-huh. But it's perfect for that space because that bathroom is not very big.
Yeah.
And you could have a gigantic sink that you have to walk around and it screws everything up. But how do you find these things like that bauxite sculpture that you have in the studio, or the sideways tiny one-hand sink? Where do you come up with this stuff?
There's a lot online that you can find. You kind of have to search and scour all over the place. But that small bathroom dictated we needed a super small sink.
Yeah.
And there's not that many.
Right.
So then you start searching for a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
But I love I love that wonderful wallpaper it's a Ralph Lauren. It's like a menswear. It's like a suit.
It is.
On the wall.
It is.
And
It's nice and masculine.
It is. So it's cool. We've had several clients say, "Oh, I want that for our house, something like this, because it's so different."
Yeah. I want that for a sports coat.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you want to be a designer all your life? Were you a little girl who designed things?
I was moving my room all the way around and drawing, and I had these like fans that I would put on the wall, and I had a hanging rattan chair. Do you ever remember those?
Yeah, the egg chair.
And I loved that chair, and I'd swing on it and like daydream, and I'd like draw my little floor plans and move things. So I always loved the process of creating. I'd help my parents. They'd have wallpaper books, and I'd always have to weigh in and give my opinion.
So they fostered this sense of design
and
let you run with it when you were a kid.
Yep. And then I took a lot of art oil painting classes, and I just kind of was always creative. But then I did not go and major in that when I was in college.
Wow. What'd you study?
Political science.
Why?
Wow. Okay.
Exactly. Why?
Yeah.
I thought at the time I wanted to be an attorney.
Okay.
And then go into
Could
real
you imagine if your mom was an attorney?
No, I can't either. And then go into real estate development. And so my first job out of college was actually for a commercial real estate company.
Okay.
And then I decided, this is not for me. I don't like this at all. It's just kind of a really dog-eat-dog world.
Right.
Wow.
And so then I went into high tech for like 10 years, doing sales, business development, but it still was never my passion. It was a great company, but I love the people, but it wasn't my thing.
Yeah. But you've been in Northern California the whole time?
Except for school.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually was born in Chicago and lived in Evanston until I was 10.
Oh, okay.
And then my parents moved out because of the weather.
You do have a
smart.
Midwestern sensibility, wouldn't you say, Pete?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
You do? Really? What does that
You
mean?
do. I think we have a certain flightiness, and I embrace it because I'm Californian.
Right.
But I think you have like the ladies in your office, you have a staff that's perfectly capable and absolutely lovely to work with.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
But you are certainly the iron core of that place. I mean, and you have to be.
Right.
But I don't think it's something that is a matter of your occupation as much as it's a matter of your personality.
Oh, that's true.
Iron core.
Yeah.
You get all over to iron core.
Sure.
Okay. All right. I like it.
I think you could punch Kriste in the stomach and she would take it. She'd be like, yeah. Is that all you got?
Oh, I don't know.
That's kind of, wow. I thought you had bigger shoulders than that.
Yeah, I thought you were from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
The tech world, and you're not following your passion, but the tech world's profitable. So how do you make that step? Can you tell us about the leap that you make to go, let's follow this? Tell us that.
So I was having my middle son, and I just had done it for 10 years. And so I went on maternity leave, and you just decide, okay, you can do one, but then two gets a little more logistically challenging.
Right.
And so I became a stay-at-home mom.
Boy, that maternity leave that can be a crucial turnaround for people.
I think it is.
I think when you're a company that's running, one of your people says, it's time for me to go have my second child.
That's a little
I want to say
flag.
that second child dynamic that, your boss is probably going, oh boy.
She's going down.
Yeah. If it's going to happen, here's where it's going to happen.
I think statistically that's probably the case.
Yeah.
So then I was a stay-at-home mom for probably 5 years or so.
Right.
Loving being a mom, hanging out with my kids. But I remember walking through Target one day. I'll never forget this. I was in my little tennis outfit and wheeling my cart going, so is this it? Like, this is it.
Right.
Like, am I just running errands, doing laundry, getting groceries? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just needed more.
Wow.
And so I had this light bulb moment, and I was like, I just was feeling a little restless. And I had done a number of remodels for ourselves, as well as then some friends were starting to ask me for help.
Yeah.
And then it kind of led into,
Were you here in Alamo at the time already?
I was in Moraga.
In Moraga. Okay.
Yep. And
Wow.
then I just started helping people. And then people were saying, you should really do this. And I thought, no, you're just being nice. And then I did start like 2 mornings a week, like from 9 to noon when they were in preschool.
No kidding.
And then just trying to control it. And then it just started snowballing. It rolled from there.
And now you have your operation.
Now I have my
operation. And it really grew organically like that. You were doing it 2 days a week in the morning.
I did. And then it kind of evolved as my children grew.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I was willing to work more once they were in school longer. And so I feel like I have the best of both because I take them to school and then I pick them up at 3.
Right.
So I'm kind of, those are when I have my meetings from 8 till 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to be there and enjoy their whole evolution as they've, and now they're getting older and they're more self-sufficient, but you got to see the whole thing.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. I can imagine, and for our listeners, I keep looking over at Mark because as your mom says things, I'm thinking, yeah, tennis outfit. I can imagine that. Yeah, I can buy that. But there was we ran an errand for your mom one time and it involved us going to the city to this place to pick up this thing that went in the center of somebody's table. And it was like a rock that had stuff shooting out of it. And it was like $10,000 worth of rock with stuff shooting out of it. So I get the tennis outfit. I don't get walking through Target. I wouldn't have thought, you know what? And it goes back to where the bar is because we see stuff and go, yeah, that's okay. Not Kriste Michelini, okay, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So, and we're not belittling Target. I'm a Target shopper. I just wouldn't think, oh, you know where we probably will run into Kriste Michelini in a tennis outfit walking through Target. Maybe not. Yeah.
But that's where her epiphany happens, though.
Right.
So that's all right.
That was my moment.
Do you have to go there again? You're like, I'm stuck. How am I going to solve this problem? Let me go to Target.
No, I know.
I do that. I do that. Wow, we're having a, tiki party in the backyard and I don't know where to get to. I'll go to Target.
I'll go to Target. I always find out good things there.
Yeah.
I know. They do have some good finds and great clothes for kids.
Is that what they have? I have not bought my daughter clothes in a long time. My daughter's a senior, so she doesn't need me to buy her clothes anymore.
She doesn't want you to buy your clothes.
No, she doesn't. But hey, look, I got you some T-shirts.
I think it's good when they're little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was even funnier because I'm like, I have a little girl. This is my speech. I have a little girl. She's about this tall. And I need to buy her a fill in the blank, a dress for a special event. And then the ladies would be like, okay, you're a big dummy. Come
and you need help.
Yeah.
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 That worked for you, I'm sure, much better than my hello, Victoria's Secret person. I'm buying something from my girlfriend and she's approximately your size. That never worked.
Right.
But
that's a tough order. Yeah.
Yeah. They saw right through it. Pete, on the other hand, Pete has a lovely daughter. His daughter is wonderful and feminine and all of the things you want your lovely daughter to be. And Pete is just he's a brute. You can tell, right? He's a big brute. He's good for moving things that are heavy. He picks stuff up. So you can imagine Pete's daughter being 7 years old and needing her pigtails put in place and it being up to Pete to do it. There'd be one going this direction and one would be just hanging off a little loose. And
I think that's hard even for women. Well, unless you do it all the time.
I could never get a ponytail right. I could never get it to be in the right spot in her head, not have clumps of hair coming out in the other direction. I could just never, ever do it. And forget about making it fancy like a sideways ponytail. No.
Oh.
Yeah. I had the 5 o'clock low ponytail. Just not appealing in any way.
Wow. Yeah. So let's get back to, what we were talking a moment ago about the profile that was in, what magazine was that?
That was Gentry Magazine.
Gentry Magazine. And it's a local magazine based in the South Bay.
Yep, on the peninsula.
And so the piece that was written about you, how do you get into a piece on a local magazine that's based on the peninsula?
There's a gal, Lisa Davis, who does PR for interior designers. And so she's often in touch with people who are looking for different needs. Like they might need a project that's based in Tahoe so she kind of reaches out to specific designers for that. So Gentry's a great magazine. Having grown up on the peninsula, it's kind of a home for me. So
I see.
So it was nice. It was an honor to be in part of it.
Yeah. And what was the profile all about? What?
They just send you a Q&A and then you just fill it out. What are your favorite things for rooms, favorite blogs, best paint colors, mantra, books, so forth. It was, it was fun. It was easy.
Okay. So when you let's say you walk into my house and I need your help, obviously, because look at me. what do you see? Like, where does it start? How do you, like, is it like?
Just imagine your mom walking into somebody's house and stepping over underwear. Like, oh.
I would pick up a little bit. A little.
Okay.
Not everything, but a little bit. But yeah, I mean, how does it work? When you walk in, you see this canvas. It's not an empty canvas. It's a canvas full of Pete's crap, you know? How do you sort out what to do?
Underwear, etc.
Yeah, what to keep, what's out, what comes in.
Well, typically we would interview you, figure out what are you trying to achieve for that room? Like in terms of, I want this to be a man cave.
Okay.
Or what are your needs? So you want to lounge, watch TV, eat pizza on the coffee table.
Ooh. So it starts with a purpose for the room. It starts
with the objective, right. And then we talk about adjectives, like how do you want it to feel?
Okay.
So we're trying to get in your head to really, so it reflects you, not me. And then we talk about budget, which up front, because a lot of people avoid that. But, you know, it tells us like, it's like buying a car.
Yeah, sure.
Are you buying a Honda, a Ferrari, you know, and everything in between. So we need to know where we're sourcing and shopping at.
Right.
But then it comes down to the space plan. So we CAD up the different space plan based on the room dimensions and figuring out what is going to fit. And that usually we would present 2 to 3 options to you and you'll go, oh, I love this. And then that drives the design.
I see.
A room can be great looking or beautiful, but if it doesn't function well, it's never going to feel right.
Right.
So then we would show you fabrics and all the materials, and then we do the installation, which is the best part. It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And then you leave, and we have all the deliveries happening, and window treatments, and whatever paint, electrician, install it all, and then you walk in. And then you hopefully cry.
Right.
And then you have a party.
Tears of joy.
Oh, I like it. A party.
A party. To show it off.
You must just have like a catalog in your head of fabrics, a zillion fabrics.
Oh, there's a lot.
Or do you more like, I need something that feels like, I don't know, bananas, palm trees, and a monkey. That's what I need. Because Pete wants, you know, a jungle tiki bar theme.
Sure.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like, do you just have that in your head? Like, have you just seen a fabric and it's just in there somewhere in the back of your head?
Sometimes, but oftentimes there's so many introductions throughout the year.
Right.
But next time you come into our studio, I'll show you, we have all the fabrics organized by color. It's like eye candy. And so we keep our favorite ones, but then they get discontinued or what have you.
Oh, okay.
So there is like this wardrobe of fabrics that we pull from. But we always usually have to go to the city and shop for ones that might be bananas, tiki torches, and you know, if it's really something specific.
Yeah. Hey, look, we can get this sofa covered in Curious George.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. That'd be great. That'd be fun.
See? We've solved some of your problems already, Pete.
Man, now I just need to get a coffee table.
Yeah.
And then I'll be all set.
We're going to upholster that coffee table too.
Yeah. Ooh. That'd be a good idea.
You're going to have a tweed coffee table.
Eat on it. Are you going to eat on it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then maybe a hard surface would be better.
Hard surface.
We got Mark's over here being really, really delicate with the peppermint bark. But we're in your house, and part of the charm of the show is background noise. It's like, ooh, what's going on? There's some rustling. Oh, that's the opening of the peppermint bark. One of the other things that I really dig about your house is the backyard.
Oh, thank you.
It looks like a park.
You haven't seen the pool yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
I'll have to show it to you.
I haven't seen the pool.
Cover.
Yeah. I didn't even notice this was here.
What do people want when they typically talk to you?
They have a problem. They want us to solve it, I would say. And they want.
Is that the problem typically my husband's an idiot?
I actually sometimes can be a marriage counselor.
Oh, I bet.
And that can be, sometimes you're in the middle of disagreements.
Right.
The majority of our clients seem to be on the same page, but often we have been hired to help mediate and get a third party objective opinion. So let's say you like traditional and you're like, I hate traditional, I want modern. So we're trying to bridge it and pull it together without compromising either one of you.
Right.
So.
And that's where the magic happens.
That helps. Yes. So that's a role.
Yeah.
And then other times it's, they might say, you know what, we've lived like this 5 years with no furniture in this room. You know, it's time for us to grow up.
Right.
Or, you know, and they have tried it on their own maybe, or some people just know right away, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And then that could be several rooms, or often it's a house, building it from scratch.
Right.
So like working with their team, the contractor, architect from the ground up. on a custom home, which usually could be a year to 2 year relationship.
Yeah.
So then it's like a short-term marriage.
Right.
So they interview you.
Or in my case, a long marriage.
Yeah.
Right. So but in that case, you have, and probably in a lot of cases, because anything that you do really is going to involve a rethinking of a space that somebody uses, and it takes time. So I imagine it's almost like an attorney-client relationship where I have to, write a check as a retainer, and then you're my person who's going to deal with this room, and it's going to take a while, and we're going to be in each other's lives for whatever that period of time is.
Exactly.
Wow.
I think people don't realize how many artisans go into a room.
People are probably not as thoughtful until the process begins either about what these spaces mean in their lives.
Exactly. And then you want to do it right and be thoughtful and not just fat. You're not trying to sell a house and spin it. So then that's a different.
Yeah, it's a different mindset, a different. And when you're intimately involved in creating the space where people are going to spend their lives, you can really well, let's see. If you've been at this roughly 15 years?
A little over 10.
A little over 10. You're getting to the point now where your earliest clients can now look back at what this room has meant to their life and their raising of their children. And you have kids who are a little older than 10 who just know this space. That's the space that they know in their life. That's where they're living. It's their living room.
Their haven.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really heavy. That was a little heavier than we planned to get.
It's cool. I mean, I think it just makes our day. Really, it's like when we reveal the space to our clients and they just are we are not solving, unfortunately, a cure for cancer or world peace, but we do make people feel safe in their environment and beyond their expectations is our goal, exceeding those and just
safe to create and safe to explore and
then it just feels like it's them. It reflects them.
Enjoy their life.
Like, how did you get me? Like, this is so me. I didn't know this is better than I could have anticipated. So that's our goal.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's important. You're not curing cancer. You're not doing world peace, but you are making the world a better place, especially for those people.
That's noble work. I really thought we were going to come here and make fun of you for getting people to buy $8,000 pieces of rock to shoot out of the middle of their table. But it really is noble work. It makes a difference.
I just think it makes people, it affects their well-being.
Yeah.
And they're happy. And that's our little slice of what we do.
Sure.
And that's what we try to do, is try to use our show to reveal these things where people make the world a better place. And that's, it's neat to hear you say it like that. You're not curing cancer. Yeah, we get that. But you are making lives happier, which in turn pays out because they're going to host that party and they're going to have that room. This is our room. This is the Wonder Room or whatever it's called, and they have a party and it makes everybody's life happier and it multiplies. Yeah. That's cool.
And they feel good about themselves and it's a sanctuary.
Well, we've had artists of varying type on our show. We've had filmmakers, musicians, a lot of authors, and when you agreed to do the show with us, we thought, well, we don't really know what we're going to talk with you about, but we know it's in there.
And we were excited.
Yeah, we knew it was in there. We knew there was going to be something there that that was going to tie it in. And that's really what it is. I mean, it is, as much as your work is practical and you have to do the math and live by the budget and do all of those things and extrapolate what people want because they can't always communicate it to you.
That's very true.
Yeah, it is artwork.
It's like a painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's your story. And that's the key, that it's your story, not our story.
So how about when somebody just doesn't get it? Have you ever had a case where somebody, maybe they acted like, I don't know. I'm not wild about this room. And then later on they came back and went, no, now I understand where you were going and it really does work. And the functionality is, and I don't know what I was thinking. Do you ever get that?
You mean where it's just not a fit with a client, or are you talking
more like they're resisting where you're going, but you know what you're doing?
Oh, I see. Like convincing them.
Yeah.
Trying to sell them on
when you know what's good for them.
Exactly. Sometimes it's interesting. You learn a lot about people and their decision making, and some people just know when they see it right away.
Right.
And usually they're pretty consistent in their life, not just with interior design, but either they're quick decision makers or they belabor certain points.
Yeah.
And you'll see that come through. Sometimes they just have to marinate on it and think about, it just takes them a longer time to get there.
Yeah.
Or
But it's definitely a personal style as opposed to something that's a matter of this function.
Exactly. I think so. And sometimes we have to hold our ground because at the end of the day, they're not hiring us to just be yes people.
Right.
We have to tell them,
Right.
You didn't hire us just to agree with you.
Yeah.
You hired us to do what we do. And so they ultimately respect that. 9 times out of 10, they get there fairly quickly.
When the couple comes to you, then are they typically both on board, or is one acquiesced to give the other, yes, let's bring in Kriste and I will tolerate it? And you're probably able to see that, I'm assuming. Is that more common, or is it more like they're unified and they want to do this?
You know, we have a mix. Sometimes we have the husband who's more into the design than the wife.
Does that happen?
Yes. And
Okay.
actually they have good taste. They just need help pulling it all together.
Right.
Sometimes the man is like, I don't care, happy wife type
Yeah.
of attitude. And then we have the couples who don't see eye to eye.
Right.
And then we have where they're not on the same page, and yet he has kind of given up control because it matters more to her than it does to him. And then we have some that are very much on the same page, and it's fun because it's kind of like they care just as much as I do.
And you can see them get excited together.
Yeah, like that doorknob, that finish, there is into the details.
Yeah.
And yeah. Whereas my husband could care less. He'd be like, let's just, how long will this take?
Is that how he is?
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, he's not at all into the design.
Yeah. But he lets you do whatever you want, clearly, because this place is you can take a 360 degree view, and it's not even 360 degrees because you can go up and in every direction. Everything is thoughtfully put.
Oh, thank you. I think he appreciates the end result.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like the process.
Okay.
You know, it's like, it's invasive, disruptive. How much is it going to cost?
Right.
Are you kidding? This pool took about an afternoon to put in here.
Yeah, it took like only 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's fast.
They were, it was Paragon Pools. They did an awesome job.
Wow.
They over-delivered that, which is nice.
Do you use them for others? Do people hire you to do backyards and everywhere?
Often, there is some indoor-outdoor connection, especially here in California.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an outdoor living room.
Right.
So it needs to flow. You don't want to walk out and go, wow, this is so different than what's happening inside. It should kind of feel cohesive.
That makes sense.
So we will space plan. I'll recommend materials. I'm not a plant woman, so I don't know what's going to live or die.
Yeah.
So I could never do a planting plan.
Right.
But I can definitely weigh in. But I don't do full on architectural drawings.
Give some guidance to the landscape architect. Mm-hmm. What about your office? Could we is there a reality show in the making in your office?
With all the gals, you mean?
Yeah. Do you feel like you could do a reality show?
They are so fun. I love them. They're darling.
Yeah.
I just have a great time in there. I laugh, and we have everyone in different age groups. And so it's fun to just see the different stages.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Megan, who wasn't married, now she moved off to Germany.
Goodbye. I'm going to marry a basketball player from America in Germany.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Robin, who, is getting her master's and went to Cal Poly and, just switched careers from nutrition to design.
From nutrition to design.
Yep. She used to work at Safeway. And then Marlene, who has been in design the whole time and has been with me the longest, designs quite a bit with me and has been like the rock.
Yeah, she's clearly the lieutenant.
Yeah, she's very good at what she does and knows what she does and is very talented. And then Mal, who's funny and is our office manager and just says the things like, I can't believe you just said that. So that, you have all this like personalities that make it fun.
Yeah, you got a lot of dynamics in there.
And everyone's very positive and pleasant. So it's, and kind. So it's just it's not a petty work environment at all. I have no tolerance for that.
Yeah, we love it when we go there. You guys call us up. We're excited. We're like, yes, cool. Because you have clients that are harder work. You guys are never work for us. It's always like, yeah, we're going to go do this stuff. And then that's great. But, it's going to be pleasant. It's going to be nice.
Well, I don't know if you've picked up on this, but we work pretty efficiently. And usually when we are going by somewhere, it's a drive-by. the engine never stops.
Yeah.
I just
Tuck
sort
and roll.
of throw Pete throws the door open and does the roll, and then he goes in there. But when we go to your office, well, we turn the car off and we both walk in there. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Next time we'll have to have lunch for you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we really have enjoyed every bit of working with you guys. It's given us an education. I'm not just in design, but just in not being such dudes. Because we really are. It's bad enough that we're dudes, but we're dudes who spend the bulk of the day together in our, wallowing in our dudeness. Yeah. We got tools, we got construction stuff, we get dirty. And, sometimes it's overwhelming. And then we go in your office and it's like a ray of sunshine and everybody's nice and it smells like, it smells like, ooh, it's like coconut. And I feel like I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad.
Is it ridiculous? I'm going to ask Mark, is it ridiculous in there? Do you walk in there sometimes and go, man, this is just over the top? It is. Okay. So see, he's a dude. He gets it.
But you guys appreciate it. So you're not totally dudes.
Yeah. We know. I mean, my design phases were pretty simple. It was girls and cars on the wall. And then it was like, oh, let's get a nagel. And then my friend's like, I'm going to get a nagel with the neon light in it.
Right. Neon light in it.
And you're like,
then
hey.
Is there a nagel that has a car?
Right.
Is there a nagel with a girl and a car?
And then you're like, you know what? I'm growing up. I'm going to get me some Ansel Adams or Escher pictures.
Oh, the posters.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
And maybe some chrome. Throw some chrome around this room,
Yeah. You know what? This needs a black lacquer dresser.
Yeah.
I need a black lacquer dresser with some gold knobs.
And a coffee table.
That's in now, actually.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
very
man.
glam. Yep.
It feels like it's almost like the furniture that you would imagine. I have a cousin who's.
If you like the show,
And you do, support the show.
there are 3 ways you can support us.
Number 1, go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And leave a 5-star rating and review.
It helps with the show metrics and helps us get better placement. Number 2,
Visit our website.
www.breakitdownshow.com.
We've got an Amazon and an eBay link.
Same Amazon, same eBay, you know and love, but they give us a little kickback when you get to their site from ours. And number 3, leave comments about the shows that you like. We want to know what you think, how you feel.
Tell us how to make the show better. We greatly appreciate it.
Now back to the show. Here's an odd thing about me. I have 77 first cousins.
Are you kidding?
No.
Are you one of how many children?
It's just me and my brother.
Well, how
But
many siblings do
My
your
mom has 10 brothers and 5 sisters. And my dad has 2 brothers and 5 sisters.
She's one of 15?
She's one of 16.
16?
Yeah.
And
my dad's one of 8.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was, and I'm originally from Guam, where they were slow to get cable TV. So you know what happens there. And
Were you born in Guam?
yes.
Really?
Yeah. And one of my cousins, the other thing that happens when you're from a place as small as Guam is that when you go somewhere else and you meet someone else from Guam, you will just adopt them as your cousin. So I have legitimately 77 first cousins, but I have 2 cousins who I'm very, very close to, a distant relative. And I think there's like my mom and your dad and something, and we could figure it out if we wanted to, but it doesn't matter. You're my cousin.
That's awesome.
So I have a cousin who, when he was in the Air Force, he was one of those guys who, he lived as a bachelor and all of his things are very well organized and he's very thoughtful about his stuff, but his style was the black lacquer dresser with the gold framed mirror. And then he had the glass coffee table with the,
very sleek and
everything was sleek and it was really very modern and it was like, it was
Vegas?
Art Deco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was more Vegas. I mean, you correct me on those things, but I just imagine Art Deco. But it wasn't really the Art Deco colors, but it would be like the arch that's framed with the gold thing and with the thing in the center.
Exactly.
And all that stuff just reminds me of him. So he's coming back into style.
Pieces of it, but maybe not that brass. It's that unlacquered brass that doesn't stay shiny. That 90s breasts that just always stay shiny.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of patinas over time that you'd see more in London or a little bit more inherited feel.
So that's what's in style.
Yeah, I actually changed our front door hardware to brass on the black because I like it.
Huh.
But not that shine. I mean, it's that unlacquered,
Yeah.
which is key.
Like honest brass.
Yeah, so your oils in your hands will change it.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Right,
so it looks
sure.
lived in.
Yeah.
So it's
Not
gotta
like
make the-
Navy-based brass. Not
Right.
like a Korean furniture store a mile away from the Navy-based gate brass.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he was going for. So
Are all your first cousins here in the States?
no.
They're all back in Guam?
They're all over the world.
Really? And so do you see them often?
No.
Oh, that's too
I mean,
bad.
there are a few of us who see each other. We have quite a few of us in Washington. A couple, we're sprinkled all over the place.
And are there many here?
But I'm just thinking, my closest first cousin is I have a second cousin in San Jose. I see him all the time.
Oh, that's nice.
My closest first cousin's probably in Long Beach or Torrance or somewhere like that.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a bunch of us all over the place.
That's amazing that you'd have 15, 16
That's a lot.
babies. I mean, oh my gosh.
I know.
One after another too. No twins.
How old was she? When was the baby?
I think she was 20 when the baby was born. So she spent her adult life pregnant.
Wait, she was,
Started when she was 20. is what
She
you're
started
saying.
when she was 20.
Yeah.
And then
And then ended when she was 35?
38, I think.
That's
So she had one after another. She had 5 and then 6, 5 and then a year off and then 6 and then a year off and then the last 5.
No
one
twins.
after another. No twins.
Her poor body. Oh,
And when she
my God.
passed,
Why even get it back into shape? It's
oh, man.
forget it.
well, and she was a slight woman.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She was probably,
Is she alive today?
5 foot even. She passed away about 6 or 7 years ago. And she was 5 foot even, probably weighed 95 pounds, maybe 110 pounds at the most.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a very slight woman.
16 kids. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'll definitely take some more.
And she produced 16 kids.
Man, that is incredible.
Yeah.
How do you design a house for 16 kids?
There's a great question.
That would be actually very cool.
They lived in a
active-
Bunk
3-bedroom
beds.
house.
Lots of bunk beds.
Bunk beds. Yeah. Triple bunk beds.
I can imagine bunk beds in the kitchen, bunk beds in the living room, bunk beds in the, what room is this? This is the rumpus room. Well, guess what? It's a bedroom for 4.
Yeah. I mean, well, what's the TV show? 19
Oh,
and
yeah. Counting? Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Any meal is a cafeteria operation. That is a lot of people to stuff into a room. Now, how do you make that? Because, one kid's going to have like the Star Trek blanket, and one kid's going to have the baseball stuff, and one kid's going to have you can't have a theme in one room and expect 4 kids to live in it.
all those people. I mean, everybody's going to find their spot, but
Did they live on a farm?
Yeah.
I can't believe you were in Iraq for 10 years.
it was.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've tried not to go back because the money is great in Iraq and Afghanistan, but the work it's rewarding, but it's frustrating because you do the same work. Because everybody rotates in and they all want to do the same thing, and you're like, all right.
Is this which branch of the military?
It would be the military, or actually the State Department too. Just the military, whoever the military owner of that space was. So it could be, primarily for me, it was the Army because I just
Did you get trained in the Army then?
Yeah, I was. The Army trained me, and I got out of the Army in like 99, but I've just been working with them ever since because I'm better at being not in the Army, but I understand them and I speak their language, so I've been effective at talking to them.
Did you see lots of people get killed? And
I've seen a good number, yeah. Yeah. I saw a guy.
did you have nightmares from that? Like post-traumatic stress?
Post-traumatic stress for sure, yeah. You
You
can't.
did?
I don't think you can avoid it if you've been there as long as I was,
Yeah.
There's too much. There's too much stuff to deal with, and it's not just the
Like
combat
process?
stuff. Yeah, because my life at home fell apart.
Did you get a divorce?
Well, in effect, I mean, I was engaged. It didn't work out, and which was a good thing, ultimately. But it takes a long time to get to that point where you can say that was a good thing. I got away from that. Yeah, it's
Were you
hard.
overseas when that happened?
It started when I was overseas. Yeah, yeah. It's hard. And then I come back, and I've literally had. I don't even look for jobs anymore. I've had one interview since I've been back. And
How long have you been back now?
I got back in May of 2012. And I had one interview, and we talked to the guy yesterday, and he told me to go back to Afghanistan. And
why?
That's where you're going.
That's where you can work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what would you do here if you didn't
I could do all kinds of things here. I've got a master's degree.
Oh, we should be recording all this.
My resume is heavy. There's a lot of stuff in
You got
there.
a master's degree in what?
Organizational management, and I'm super smart at culture. I can look, as I would apply for these jobs. We need someone who's great at culture to go out and talk to like our stakeholders within the company
And develop relationships.
Yeah, and figure out, how do we do a better job and what's working, what's not. I did that every day for the military in a place where people wanted to shoot me in the face. And
Scary. Were you ever scared you're going to get shot?
Nah, you can't be. You can't be. I mean, you're worried about it and you're aware of the threats and you do things to reduce that. But day to day, it's not that dangerous. It's really boring most of the time. When it's dangerous, it's all the way off the scale dangerous. People are dying, but most days, no. And then when something does happen, it's so quick. You're like, whew, we all almost
What just
died.
happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Where in Afghanistan were you?
The crappiest parts. There was people dying.
Which parts of Afghanistan do you know?
Well, I'm just curious. So if I hear about it, I'll know. Oh, that's where
I was in a place,
it was.
primarily I was in
Yeah,
a
I'm not
place
familiar
called...
with it at
Yeah.
all.
I thought your next thing was going to be like, oh, you were there? You were in Fallujah?
Oh, so you weren't in Paktika. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Did you eat at Moe's?
What's the longest stint you did without coming home?
Well, I would try to do no more than 100 days in a row without some kind of a break. Sometimes you push a little past that, but it's hard to do more than that and be away that long because it's just...
Wears on you?
Yeah, it wears on you, and it gets harder to come back. And it's like, well, I'll just put it off another 100 days. Next thing you know, you've been there. I know people that don't take breaks out there. They've just gotten used to being gone and working in that environment. I just never enjoyed that.
So what happens to those people who continue that cycle?
They just stay there, and they.
Is it hard to reacclimate and
absolutely
re-enter? Reentry burns must be like.
Oh yeah, there's no reentry.
I bet some people are built for that. And then
they don't want to be home?
And then they become conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll move to any job.
And it's their reality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any job they can get to
and
stay
it may
over
not be one that we like, but,
it's one they'll endure.
Yeah.
And then they take great vacations.
Endure.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about endurance. Yeah.
It's almost like there are guys who are, like support staff for big rock and roll tours.
Right.
Like a guy will go from being the touring, whatever manager of laundry for the Rolling Stones. And then the Rolling Stones will come back and go, okay, we're going to take a year off. And he's like, well, I better jump on this Billy Joel tour because I can't stand to be home.
It's just a way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Pete for a minute, because here's the thing. Pete says, he's got an education, he's got a lot of experience, and he says, I'm great at culture. But this is like when a stunt man says, I'm great at riding bikes. Just because he's great at it doesn't mean you want him teaching your kid how to ride a bike. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those, and it's not a direct correlation with the kids, but it's almost like when I spend a lot of time with Pete. And when Pete says, I'm great at culture, one of the things that I just think of is he's such a bull in a china shop. And you know this. He's such a bull in a china shop. And it's like, yeah, okay, I get where you'd be great at that function and all of that. But it is like a stuntman saying, well, I'm great at riding a bike. Oh, okay. You're great at a thing that has to do with riding a bike. You're great at going 100 miles an hour, maybe jumping over these buses or blowing this thing up. And okay, I guess that would make you great at riding a bike.
Uh-huh.
But it's like some of that cultural skill though has to do with what you do for a living, where I take what people do and what people are, mm-hmm. and then what people are together as a mm-hmm. family and create a space for them to all be that. And it's a different line of work, although it's to some degree the same line of work.
Right. Getting in their culture.
Yeah. You're getting
them.
Yeah. And some of it is on the extreme end of the scale, Pete's end of the scale. It's like, how do I get these village elders to accept that we want to allow their girls in the village an opportunity to get an education? 'Cause that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in your world, it's like, well, the husband doesn't really like, I don't know, macrame toilet seat covers or whatever.
Oh.
The thing is,
I love those. Yeah, no, they had those.
They had the macrame planners, right?
I don't know why I came up with that one, but
good,
maybe it's a thing that's either on a really large scale or a really small scale, or really big and rough or very subtle.
I think it'd be cool though to, walk sometime in your shoes.
Oh man, it's neat. It is. It's neat. It'd be
hopefully.
Yeah. It's, it's a lot safer than you would think. And if I was able to organize a tour, it would be fantastic. It'd be an experience of a lifetime to talk to these people and see how they live. They live, they survive, they thrive doing what they do, but they've got different priorities than us. And, and like you talked about having that girls go to school.
Yes.
I have to flip that and communicate back to our American side and say, so here's an actual story. So I'm talking to the mayor of an area and he's talking about his priorities because no one had ever asked this guy. We always tell them, here's your priority. Here's what you're going to do.
We got to get these girls educated.
Yeah. And that's one of the priorities. He's like, female education is my number one priority. And I'm okay. So explain that to me. And what he ultimately explained is security's first. Remember, and he means this, girls were his number one priority. Security is first, and there's 3 kinds of security. The guy's got to know he's secure and will live throughout the day and not be harassed and killed and kidnapped. He's got to be able to go to work and do whatever he has to do and know that his family's safe while he's gone. Mm-hmm. And then he has to know his kids will be safe, projecting out to where school is and coming back. And if those 3 things aren't satisfied, they won't leave the house. Not because they're crazy, not because they hate, Western ideals, because they don't want their kids to die.
Yeah.
They don't want to die. They don't want to leave the house and come back and find out their family's been massacred because that guy went to a market and bought rice and he wasn't allowed to. So before we solve the problem of girls going to school, we have to solve that.
The safety problem.
Yeah.
That your family is going to make it today.
Right. And then before you send girls
to school. How do you solve that?
I don't know. But what I do know is you pump your brakes and you say, everybody slow down and understand that these guys, until they feel safe, but they are safe. Okay. But until they know it, they're not, and that's our job. That's where we focus our work, is trying to get them to understand. And you probably have a very similar thing you do. You have to get them to understand that you are safe and understand what they see. How do they see it? And if you're pushing their boundary and design, really orange throw pillows are the thing in this room. And the mom's like, no way, cause she's got some past thing where she hated the 70s and there's orange throw pillows in her dreams. She hates, you can't do anything until you deal with that.
That wasn't weird.
Orange throw pillows?
But we take so much for granted, just our safety.
Right.
Versus they have to battle with day to day. And they don't know. And until they know, so the Iraqis, same thing. They don't trust their police force. We would teach and train them every day. And I would go out at nighttime to talk. Okay, so if something bad happens, let's say there's bad people in your neighborhood, what do you do? And I would make them go down the list. And I'm good at doing this. And I would get them to describe what they would do and then what they would do. And nowhere on that list was call the police. Ever. Wow.
So you've got a problem. And I would illustrate that for the commander because there's no reason to trust those guys.
Because they could turn on you.
They could turn on you. They aren't respected. They aren't trusted. So here we are, even today, teaching and training these guys. But no one takes time to show the people that the police have to be part of the community. And it's how do you solve that problem? I don't know. Yeah. I just know when it's not working, you got to slow down, stop and figure out where the singular problems are and solve those things. Otherwise.
How far away is everybody from having their heart and soul warmed because of the space that they live in? Because we've been talking up to now about the spaces that you create and having it be a place where if I come to you as a client, some of my thoughts are, I want my children to be creative. Mm-hmm. I want them to be free to express themselves. And I want this to be a stimulating space where they have the room, and there's light and color and they're stimulated to do things and try things. And we do take a lot of things for granted, but how far are the people we're talking about who are concerned, and rightfully so, about whether they're going to make it that day? Mm-hmm. How far away are they from that? Or is it a situation where adversity creates the kind of art or literature or music where we go, wow, this stuff is heavy and it's deep and it's mm-hmm. powerful and it's inspiring. Where's that?
They have things like that inspire and move them, but really they're not focused on that. They can't afford it. They have to, the crop has to be brought in. So if you're Mozart, you got to go out and you got to go pick plants, and you're not playing the piano. There's no time for painting.
I'm sorry, piano.
Well, piano, whatever it's going to be.
whatever it is.
Yeah, there's no time for that because you've got
Just
a fence
survival.
to mend. Yeah, you've got to get through. So you've got to not only survive by creating a living and providing for your family, but also you have to teach your kids how to do the same thing. So again, we want to bring girls into school, and you have to find out in every valley what's acceptable. So the girl who wants to go to school gets to go to school to about 11 or 12 maybe. And then it's time to go home and go to finishing school and learn how to have a family. Not because, they're barbaric and want to be pedophiles. And sometimes that's the case, but it's because that's when young girls come of age and start to learn how to cook and clean and prepare for a family. And that's the best they've got. And until we can teach them that there's a better alternative, the guy who protects the family, the dad, is going to be like, the best way to protect my daughter is to make sure that she can get married to a very stable, reliable guy who will do what I do. And so school is out of the equation. And not because they hate it, but because that's reality, And until we can understand that, you can't advance any kind of female agenda. It's inappropriate to do so. And you'll expose the females to more harm than good. And that's tough.
Also, Majid,
Yes.
Hafez, this scene from Othello that you guys have been working on is great.
Yeah.
But we've got pomegranates that need to come in.
Absolutely.
So, wow.
That's exactly right.
That's heavy. Man.
But the interiors
See what
of those
happens
homes
when
are
you
beautiful,
get
though.
see what happens when you get a little wine in
I
the
know.
Man.
It's fascinating.
Give him a pretzel.
Oh my goodness.
And
These are the best.
I do.
yeah.
I love those things.
The
I
peanut
will
butter
take a
pretzel.
pretzel.
Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
Did it live
like
up?
a little Friday happy hour.
Yeah, it is.
Friday happy
I
hour.
learned
Kriste
about
Michelini.
your whole experience and how many years in Iraq and how many in Afghanistan?
Probably about 18 months total in Afghanistan. And then, I don't know. Here's how I would say it. I've got 70 plus months of combat time.
Can you imagine?
No, and how are you like healthy and normal?
Oh, my body's beat up. It's worn out.
it?
That's
Yeah,
an,
a lot
that's
of
an
things are.
assumption.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a
is it?
stretch.
Yeah.
Like
and
you're like you have chronic pain?
chronic pain, but I'm completely capable. But there's like things that like my hips are always going to hurt. That's just how it is,
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. But that's part of the deal. I mean, I'm in my mid 40s. I'm fortunate that I don't have to take any kind of pills.
That's good.
So I'm healthy. Just I've got some miles on my body.
Would you go back?
Only if the circumstances allowed me to do what I need to do. I don't want to work for somebody else who tells me what to do because that doesn't do anybody any good. I can help if I go back, but those opportunities don't exist. So I don't worry about that.
And John, how about you? What did you? I know about now.
What did
about
I
you have
learn from
70,
Pete?
70 some first cousins.
Yeah.
But
I moved here when I was 5.
from Guam.
Yeah, from Guam. And everybody on Guam speaks English. Guam's like Waikiki.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
What brought you over here then?
Well, my dad got a civil service job on Mare Island in Vallejo.
Oh, yeah.
So we came here. That's what happened to people on Guam. So Guam is far from everything else and it's tiny. So one of the ways that you left, because, Guam it's like here. There are some people who are wealthy and then there's everybody else who's just kind of getting along. When you didn't have wealth, you dreamed of going elsewhere. And one of the ways that you went elsewhere was you joined the military, or you figured out how to get a job in the military complex that would take you somewhere. People from Guam are known as Chamorros, and our language is Chamorro as well. But the largest concentration of Chamorros that's not on Guam is in San Diego. The second largest concentration is in Vallejo.
Wow.
Because there are shipyards, and that's what we did. So it's like if you were Portuguese, you were a fisherman. If you were on Guam and you wanted to get off of there, learned a military trade, or you became a civil servant doing something. But here's the interesting thing about that. My grandma, she speaks English beautifully. But when I was a baby, my mom had to go back to work after she had me. And so I stayed with my grandma. My grandma lived next door to us. And so I stayed with my grandma all day. She was like my first best friend. But she never, ever spoke English to me. She refused. She only spoke Chamorro, and she only responded to me if I spoke Chamorro. So I learned how to speak Chamorro. My brother, I learned how to speak Chamorro as a matter of learning how to speak. So my brother, who's 4.5 years younger than I am, we moved here when he was a baby, and he didn't get the benefit of that circumstance. He doesn't speak Chamorro.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it is. But I thank my grandma for that. And when I call my grandma,
She's still alive?
Yes.
Oh, how lucky.
And she's, really lucky. And she still speaks English beautifully. She doesn't prefer to speak English to me.
Oh, so that was a soft spot.
Yeah. It's kind of neat.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Nice way to pass it along.
I have a question about design. I remember growing up back in the days, like when JCPenney's and those kind of stores had like the showrooms of the different room designs, like kind of like what IKEA does now. And they would have like the little 3-foot porcelain Afghan dog or like the cheetah. Will that ever come back into style? You know, the little mini statuette.
There are some statuettes that are used here and there, but I mean, they're more outdoor sculptures, or there could be like kind of kitschy, like almost like
it's supposed to be
like
kind
it's
of
funny.
Yeah.
I'm looking around
Like
your
Jonathan
house.
Adler-ish.
I don't see any.
No, we don't have any Afghan dogs floating around here.
No cheetah.
No cheetah.
No cheetah.
Just our Tucker, our lab.
No panther. No lacquered panther as the base of the coffee table.
No lions greeting you at the front.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry. Not in the cards.
Wow.
I'd like to know in advance, right before that's going to become back, so I can go get one cheap, like on Craigslist.
I'm sure you could find it at a garage sale.
Yeah.
Or,
For like a penny.
my cousin's garage sale.
Right.
He had the lacquer cheetah with the panther, holding up the coffee table.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a bad visual.
It's, oh no, it's glorious. It is glorious for all the right reasons. And so the other thing was the dog listening to the old record player, the old RCA dog. That's what I want.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let me get one of those.
Yeah. I think my style is the inside the submarine style because I've been gone so long and lived in tents or tents with wood sides. And you just like, I'm not going to be in here anyhow. I don't need a picture or nothing. So I've become accustomed to just, there's my bed. There's my backpack.
Simple.
Yeah. Real simple. Yeah. So what do you do with a guy like me? I wouldn't be able to give you too much of an opinion because I don't know what I would want in 2 months.
I think that would be nice, actually.
Yeah.
I think one cool room would be just like the bed, simple sheets,
right?
The remote,
yeah,
a cool fluffy carpet, and
right? Nice.
Call it a day.
I like a fluffy carpet.
See that?
Like a shag, or and then maybe you have one cool 3-dimensional object right above your bed, or something meaningful. Maybe something from your your service.
Yeah,
that rock with the stuff shooting out of it.
Oh, I need a rock with the exploding stuff. Yeah.
Or you're like, do you have a necklace or?
No.
He's got a medallion.
A dog tag? Nothing of that? No?
A shark's tooth.
It's a medallion that's meant to sit atop chest hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have one of those?
No.
Do you have one of those?
I thought that'd be cool.
You need one of those. Pete's birthday is tomorrow.
Oh,
I know
it
what I'm
is.
getting
What are you
for
going
his
to do?
birthday now, a medallion.
I'm going to work. That's what I do.
You are?
Yeah. I've been gone so long. The birthday thing doesn't, I don't know.
So do you work, do you guys work, what are your hours?
Yes.
When there's work.
Yeah.
So it just kind of goes with
Yeah.
the flows
When there's
with
work, and then we squeeze this in. So sometimes it's Tuesday. What do we got going on today? Oh, we're going to meet,
Yeah.
Every day's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Last year for my birthday, I chopped down a wall in a store
Oh, geez.
all night long.
My goodness.
Yeah. It was hard. Yeah. It's a giant wall, probably what tall those walls are? 15 feet tall, maybe, and it was a whole, a 15 by 15 foot wall, basically.
Does that hurt your back?
No, my back's fine.
Nothing hurts Pete's back anymore.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, if I sit wrong, it'll bother me, but if I'm not doing anything wrong, it's fine. Yeah.
And how do you find all that work?
Just people call me now.
Sometimes we answer the phone when you make it ring.
Oh.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're opening a private detective agency. Did we tell you that?
No.
So we have a couple of friends, and, naturally Pete qualifies because he was a spy. But we have a couple of friends who are retired. One's a retired correction officer, one's a retired police officer. And they're both like, yeah, my retirement's okay, but it's not much. And I need to do something else. And I know how to investigate stuff. So I was thinking if we could get you guys to do the business part and we do the investigating part.
You do the investigating part.
No,
they'll
The
do
other way
it.
around.
Yeah,
Right.
they'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they get to continue to be cops, essentially.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, sorta. It does, but it doesn't.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what you find. I guess you'll find all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
Like, is this...
Who knows?
Yeah, like, disturbing.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah. So
it sounds colorful.
We have a running joke where somebody says, I think my wife's cheating. And Pete says,
Want me to find out?
No, I'll try.
He will.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Yeah. This is a great happy hour.
That could be a new chapter.
It could.
In my Danville Gigolo days.
It's like, would you rather, move chandeliers, or would you rather hang around at the risk of getting shot in the face?
Yeah.
What's your answer?
I don't want to get shot in the face anymore. I've almost been killed so many times. I mean, 9 lives is nothing.
Really?
Beyond. Oh yeah. I'm hit by a tank. We were in a car driving, and I had head-on accident with the tank. No fooling. I've heard a bullet whiz by my ear. All kinds of crazy stuff. No, it's totally serious. I was in a car, we were driving, and they did a mortar attack, and we were driving, and we could tell the next mortar was going to hit right on us, and it did. It hit our truck, and we were in it, and nothing happened to us. We got lucky.
Is your heart pumping like thinking about what could have been, and like you just your life passed before you? And
no, none of that stuff. It's too fast.
Just survival.
It's not even that. You're trained. Like by the time you have those things happen, you accept it, and then it's part of what you have to do. It's almost like when you're in a fight, and not that you've been in a lot of fights, but your hand just goes where it needs to go.
Have you had a look at this bruiser? She's clearly been.
I don't think I've ever had a fist fight.
Let's see your knuckles. Your knuckles you must look like Rocky.
Yeah. If you've never punched somebody in the face, you can punch me in the face.
I've never done that.
You can blast away. It's fine.
I could never.
That's what I was counting on. I really don't want you to punch me in the face.
It just wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
You look like you got a mean left hook. Oh, here's my question for you. Are you left-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed. Okay. I don't even know why I asked that.
How about you guys?
I'm right-handed. Pete's neither or both.
Yeah.
Ambidextrous?
Yeah.
And truly, I've seen him swing a hammer, so I'm right-handed, so I must place a nail with my left hand, and then I have to be driving it with my right hand, because if I try to drive a nail with my left hand and my right hand is down there holding the nail, I'm in big trouble.
Yep. I'd be with you.
Yeah. Big trouble. But I've seen Pete go either direction.
Yeah, I don't even think about it. I just, whatever I grab and wherever the right angle is. So there's a benefit to that. I'm not good at any of it, but I can change my angles with my hands.
That's actually very handy.
It is. It is. There's times, like when I brush my teeth, I use both hands, depending on which brush angle I need.
That's good for your brain, too.
Is it? Mm-hmm. All right.
Try, different ways, different routes, home.
Yeah. There you go. It's good for my brain.
How's your swimming?
My swimming?
Yeah, can you swim?
I can swim.
Okay. Well,
I can't do it. I can swim well, but I can't do a butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
I've
That's not
tried.
even a question for me.
Can.
Yeah. I think people who grew up swimming, like on swim teams, can do beautiful butterflies. Yeah. I've tried. I probably make it like 2 strokes, and I'm like, okay, now
it's
what?
not a stroke anybody ever does, though.
Yeah, like I have to get from here to there. I know what I'll do. I'll do the butterfly.
Yeah, if you're
that's
not
swim something
50
everybody
meters,
ever thinks.
If you're going to swim out to the pontoon raft out in the middle of the lake, you're like, okay, I can do freestyle, I can do doggy paddle, I can do side stroke. Butterfly's not anywhere on.
Why is that a thing? That would be like if we had a foot race in a silly walk.
Yeah.
Like, that gate from Monty Python where they did the thing. Let's do that, but let's race.
Yeah, let's hop.
Let's go 100 yards like that.
Do a 2-foot hop and spread your legs out in between each hop.
Yeah.
And then let's go way over there. No one's going to do that.
Nobody's going to do that.
They have
I think
all
it'd be cool to do it if I could. And then those flip turns, I wish I could do that, but I always get water up my nose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know the trick for that?
No.
As you do it, you blow air out your nose the whole time.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of the water up the nose. Mm-hmm. That's not good for me. No.
I don't like that either. Yeah. I scuba dive. I like scuba diving.
Oh, do you scuba dive?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
But I can't. Okay, I'm going to try that once it gets warmer.
Yeah. When you take that last breath, know to maybe take in a little more or just hold it before you blow those first bubbles out. And then as you go to do it, you just start blowing out through your nose.
That's my problem because I'm always like, choking.
Yeah.
Try some of this wine.
I will try some of that wine. Let me just knock off this last piece. I love these wine glasses too, because they're sort of like, it's a wine glass. Oh, thank you. It's sort of a wine glass.
They're easy to hold.
It is. It's easy to hold, and it's a masculine hold. You can rest it in your hand like a bucket glass.
It's better for red wine because if it was Chardonnay or something you want
Yeah.
cold,
Yeah.
your hand would warm it up.
You want to hold it by the stem at that point. Yeah. Oh, this wine is terrific.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
What is it?
Yeah, say the name of that. Yeah, I'll take some. more for sure.
Provenance.
Provenance. There you go.
It's from Napa, Rutherford. It's good stuff.
It's terrific.
That's excellent. I'll be buying some of that.
Wow. Kriste was kind enough to do our podcast.
Yeah.
And she's pouring wine.
Yeah.
We're very, very lucky.
No,
She's
it's
a good
been really
hostess.
fun.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
You like it to be enjoyable because that comes across in the show too. You know, everybody's going to enjoy listening and having fun with it.
I think that's one of the things that we enjoy about Alamo and Danville in this area because it's an affluent area.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that we've met, Pete grew up in Benicia. I live in Benicia. It's lovely in Benicia.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that you think about when you think about affluent areas is they're stereotypically stuffy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not been our experience in Alamo and Danville at all.
Oh, that's good.
Not one bit. And I'm sure there's stuffiness. There's plenty of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't, like the Ritter bushes.
Oh, yeah.
We
she's
walked
so
in your
nice.
office and we saw a box that said Ritter bush on it. And we went, oh.
Isn't she so nice?
Yeah, we love her. Kristen's great.
Yeah. But what we found is that whatever affluence we've run across here has been used for that type of expressiveness, the kind of, expressiveness that says, I want my kids just to be free to do well at whatever they want to do well.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So your function here is really a lot of that. Just help me be more successful at being me.
No, I know. We feel lucky. I'm lucky that we get to do what we get to do.
Yeah. Let's close up. Do you have a... Thank you, Tucker.
If you're interested in getting a hold of Kriste and having her do some home design, you can reach Kriste at her locations. There's one in Danville. She's got an office there. How else can they get a hold of you?
That's probably the best way if they call our office or the studio or email us at info@KristeMichelini.com.
And that's Kriste Michelini, just like it sounds.
MICHELINI.com.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are probably the best ways.
All right. And you can get her on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Kriste Michelini.
Is that what it is?
And then, or Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
our
do a lot
blog,
of stuff on
and our blog.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I bet. I
so
bet
check
your
out all
Instagram
those.
is buzzing.
It's fun. So any of those would work, or you can just always call us at 925-820-3844.